It's Friday. I thought I would make a little video to kind of update those who know me and kind of have been wondering what's been going on here at Avinlee Handmade. So I thought I would do this little video. I kind of want to introduce myself for those that don't know me very well. My name is April, and I am the creator, designer behind Avinlee Handmade. Avinlee Handmade right now is all about bath and body products, soaps, handmade soaps, body butters, that sort of thing. So, hi. If you don't know me, really nice to meet you. Right now, we are getting ready for a complete reorganization here in my little soapy studio. And that is a spare room in my home. So it's a very small room. And that's kind of the problem, is that we have a lot we have to fit into this small room because this room is cut off from the rest of the house. We have cats, and I don't want the cats in where they're, things like lie that they shouldn't be involved in. So the doors stay closed at all times. They're not allowed in here. And it's a small space. Instead of keeping it in the other part of the house, I need it to all stay here. So we're in the process of reorganizing. I'm getting some shelves that can go in here to kind of help store soaps and all of the supplies that go along with that. So that's kind of what we are currently working on. Hoping to have that done really soon so I can really get in here and make some new stuff. Craft show season is coming up quick. I know for sure we are doing the Carousel Festival in Burlington this year. I've got a couple other feelers out, but we're not going to do as many shows as we have in the past. We're going to focus on the bigger, better shows and maybe do fewer of the smaller events. There are some of our regular small events that are in there, like the Isley Farm Supply. That's going to be in May this year, so we're going to participate in that. That one's a small one, but we have a lot of local people that know us and come. So those we're going to keep on our little agenda. If you don't know me, I'm going to go into just a little bit about why I am making soaps. You may know me from years past. I was sewing handbags and wallets and all kinds of things for many, many years. I did that for more than 10 years, doing craft fairs and events across the state of North Carolina, which is where we are. And I took a break from that. And then I homeschooled my son, and the pandemic hit, and we were looking because technically we had kind of finished his regular curriculum in early 2021, late 2020, early 2021. And so we're looking for some projects that we could do. And in a conversation, it came up that I used to make soap. And my son was like, what does that mean exactly? And so I talked about a little bit about that. And I made soap I started making soap before he was ever born. And then I made soap when he was small because he has extremely sensitive skin. I have extremely sensitive skin. I have eczema. I've had eczema since I was a child. I am sensitive to certain things. Like we discovered when I was young that the shampoo that I had me breaking out. Come to find out it was the wheat germ in the shampoo. So it was a lot of trial and error. So my life has been kind of like I have to find the things that I react to and make changes. And so my son was the same way. So when he was little, I made soap. It was plain Jane, no scent, no color, no nut, nothing of that soap, because it was the only thing that, we could use that he didn't have, we didn't have to worry about him having a reaction with. And I made soap, and then it lasted a long time because I didn't sell it at the time. So we made soap before he was ever born, a long time ago. And I won't get into that in this video, but so when we were discussing this potential project being soap, and I'm telling him that yes, you do this chemical reaction called saponification, and we're talking about it like that'd be a great chemistry project. So that's kind of where things got started. And then we loved making the soap, and we kept making the soap, and then we ended up with a lot of soap. So then I'm like, for years I had done events, so that's kind of where thing went. And then we kind of made it into a business, which is where we are now. So, it's a little different now, where way back when I started with my handbags and things, the internet wasn't as popular as far as sales goes. Facebook was still fairly new. Etsy was new, and I did Etsy in the beginning. I did Etsy early on, did Etsy for years, back when it was, people didn't know, and they called it Etsy, and they didn't know how to pronounce it, and it was just like, what is that? It was very unknown, and I did Etsy, and that's kind of where things started. I did eBay first, actually, and then I did Etsy. So I did a lot of that in the beginning. It was early on. Nobody knew what they were doing. It was, like a long time ago. So this time around, I'm really going to work harder on our online presence. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word I was looking for. And that is going to involve some videos like this one. I'm going to do some soap talk. I'm going to talk about the process of making soap, what the difference is, because you have things like, you have melt and pour soap, which long time ago, that's kind of how I got started. I started with melt and pour soap because there was no Michaels, there was no Hobby Lobby, there was none of these things that were readily available in our area. I want to say, and if you're local to me, you may remember that the only real craft store we had at the time was called Janet's. And I do believe that the very first time I made any kind of soap, which was melt and pour at the time, I got it from Janet's, and I got candy molds to make my little fun shape. So that was my very first foray. And then soon after, I decided to make soap from scratch. And that was before we knew to use immersion blenders to speed up the process. So we're doing this process on the stove, hand stirring, and it took forever. So that's something I might get into more later when I talk about how I got into this more in depth. So I want to do little videos like this one to kind of just tell you my thoughts on things, why I do things the way I do them. And just know that this is my process, and kind of get you familiar with what my process is and why I choose to do things the way that I do. So I hope you'll enjoy them. I'm hoping to get the YouTube channel going. I have a YouTube channel. It's just not very utilized at this point. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and all the places, even on TikTok. But these videos are going to be more informative about me and my business, so that you can kind of get to know me better and kind of get to know why we do the things that we do. And I do have some really great helpers. I have my husband, and I have a son who's 20, going to be 21 this year, and they help me when they can. This started out as a family affair, but it's kind of, they both work full time, so this is mostly my thing now. And they help when they can, especially at events, so they're very helpful. So you might see them from time to time as well. But I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit, like the introduction to this little video, I don't know, calendar? I don't know. I haven't really nailed down what I'm going to talk about when. But as soon as this place is organized, I'm going to make that happen. And I might even bring you along on my little organization journey. So stay tuned, see what's going on and how this thing is going to come into fruition. Okay?